Hey, I'm Kev Kermasco, and welcome back to MotoGP 19 to finish up pro career before MotoGP 20 comes out. And it's been a while. Can we develop anything? Oh, we can. We can develop the frame, can we? Add that there. So the frame's almost fully developed. Engine is. If you've forgotten what's happened since the last time, so we're in our final season of Moto 3. With Max racing alongside Arnold Canet. Won 3 times in Argentina, Netherlands and Germany. Last time I'm looking for a third victory in a row in the middle part of the season as we enter the second half of it. As you can see, we're a massive 70 points behind Antonelli. These are challenged by 13 of Mazia, with teammate Canet in third. 9 points ahead of Della Porta. Minho rounds out the top 5. We're ahead of Suzuki and Onchu, surprisingly strong in the first half of the season. Turkish rider ahead of Ramirez and Argentine Rodrigo. And looking further down, you can see the likes of Kornfeld and Sadak together, heading to their home race now in the Czech Republic around Brno. And Fenati rounds out the top 20 ahead of Agora, as only 21 riders scored out of 30. So you can see our objective finish top 5 in races, qualify at least on the second row. And as we head to Czech Republic after the summer break, is in the same month break between Sachsenring and Brno. So we'll do 3 practice 3 to hopefully be in the top 18 to make it through to qualifying 2. If not, we'll be in qualifying 1, then we have to be in the top 2 to make it to the qualifying 2. And then, of course, we have to be at the top in qualifying 2 and the race, hopefully. So it's a bit ridiculous. I forgotten what difficulty I put it on. I think it's on 100, which is realistic now, not hard, because they've made extreme from 101 to 120 now. It seems like an update, and realistic's from 100 to 90, and then hard and so on down forth. So we're a bit quicker than everyone else, and I have done a practice race, and it is much closer in a race. Like, it's not, this gap is like half a second. Maybe we're quicker. I know in that races I was doing like a 12, like a 13. I've done a 12-2, and that's on race sim as well. So you never know what's going to happen. As Canet, Mazia behind us, Domino, Della Porta, Rodriguez, Antonelli, Suzuki, Onshu, McPhee rounds out the top 10 of Tuba, Kornfeld making it through the Q2, and then we've got Rodrigo, Binder, Arbolino, Vietti, Lonzo, Lopez, Rossi, Agora and Sanak round out the top 20 with Vichenko in last. So making it from Q1 to Q2 is Foggia, Fernandez, Vietti and Arbolino. Oh, it's 14 and then top 4 in qualifying 1. It's been a while, okay? I've forgotten about it. So let's take you for that round Brno then. And it's hopefully not mess up. Let's try and go for those trails once again. So into the first corner, just before you see that pit borderline. That's when you brake. Not that wide into the corner. No, there are multiple lines through. We came in a bit too hot. Went too wide. Started to scrub too much speed. And so we actually arced the corner a bit too early there. And just as the curb appears, put it down to second or third. Ideally second. And then second through the right, just let the bike roll through that. And then downhill into the tricky middle sector. This is our weakest sector, this is. Especially this braking point. Into the right. That's nicely done, nice and calm. Through the next one, and then into the left, we might see some cheeky dives into this corner as you go past the fans on the hill. And then again downhill with through the left in second, and through the right in second as well. Slight down the brake just to get the bike nose in. About hard as we rise up, approaching the final sector of the lap. As now we're back into territory where it should be good. But very tricky downhill braking down the second. Follow that curb on the inside. Can go to power much earlier than you expect. As you go slightly down and up. Into another chicane. Through the left. And then through the right, just let the bike roll through here and get about early. Do not want to hit the curb on the inside for obvious reasons. And then the final couple of corners. Up Horsepower Hill. And again, when the curb is on the right, hit down the second. And then through the final corner, slight lift of the power, but on the power very early. To get that good run towards the line. And get a bit of a tow as well as you do a 13.2. A bit poor, but should be up there. It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? On pole, but 1.6 out of teleporting Anthony. Connect rounding out the second row, or leading the second row ahead of Mazia and Binder. Then Arbeloa ahead of Tuba and Vietti, with McPhee ran out of top 10 ahead of Mino and Rodrigo. And Foggia, Ramirez and Fernandez. Then the home hero Cornfeld leading Suzuki and Onshu. As you see, everyone got on the warm-up lap, so we've gone soft medium, but everyone else going medium, hard for Arbeloa and Tuba as well. And then looking further down the field, medium means for Mino, Rodrigo, hards for Ramirez and Cornfeld, the home hero, hard medium for Onshu. Very strange choice. Hard for Lopez, medium for Fenati, should I say, Perez with hards. And right at the back, hard medium for Bufamos and medium hards for Rossi and Salak. As we rev it up then. Long track, 9 laps round it. A very decent start from the sounds of things, but hello. Got Del Porter alongside us, I think. Well, it could be Ramirez. You never know. So try and defend the first corner, slightly run wide. We've got an 8 apex. Someone had a good run on the inside there, but we muscled them off. And now our tyres really do come in the second half of the race. And this first few laps might not be as good. We found... we set our fastest lap in practice on lap 5 of the race practice. So that... and that was on tyres that had already done the track accumulation thing. So lap 7. So very late in the race, you should be peak performance. Onshu and Rodrigo battling hard. Got Gora and Arenas as well. And Suzuki and Arbeloa. Suzuki up to 22nd ahead of Arenas. Really battling hard in his opening lap, while we are trying to put away a bit from the field. As the gap's almost half a second up to teammate Canet. Mac chasing 1-2 here in Brno. Beautiful scenery around here. Something called the forest. Almost secluded. This racing circuit. Owned by Cal Abraham's father, isn't it? Or run by him, at least. So the most experienced Grand Prix racer around here is actually Cal Abraham. No hero. We've got a couple of them here, unfortunately for Salak starting in the last one. Cornfeld in 18 should have been with a shout at some points, which Tuba and Foggo battling over in 13th. We gained a couple of seconds. Couple of tenths, should I say. And Canet. Suzuki and Onshu going hard on this opening lap. As we're about to end it. 8 more to go after this. It's a long race here in Brno. As Yurchenko and Masaki battle for 28th. 2:19 flat as we've got Canet. Teleported and Mazia behind. Binder around at the top 5, Ramirez the top 10. As there you go, Salak up the 26th head of Arenas. Up the 24th head of Bufamos. These had a run on the front stretch. As Lopez head of Fenati into 19th. I remember being very critical of updates to this game as it progressed. Thought there was a sweet spot for the braking, which I really loved after a couple of updates in, and then they got rid of it. An update later, like a month later, and I could just not get my braking feel back. And with the discord of the opponents, like I was much slower than I used to be, so I was struggling to keep up, and so I had to battle the opponents, which they're pretty rubbish. I'm not sure if they've improved yet, because we haven't really got a chance to battle them yet, as the VR46 pair are battling over the final point, Vietti and Foggia. So we go, the gap's finally showed 1.9 to Canet, so we're gaining a second this lap already. I haven't even got to the good bits yet. That's all. Accidentally went up the sixth there. We braked a bit late into the downhill right-hander. I think we covered it well. But after playing particularly TTR Man and TTR Man 2 and the original TTR Man, and playing Supercross, MXGP 2019, the braking doesn't actually feel that bad with this bike now. It's amazing that, like, just getting a different point of view of how different companies do the braking, even though it's still mainly milestone and kiloton. It's, I don't know, coming back to this after a while, it actually feels good now. So we go, mid 212, right into it. As Canet, Mazia and Della Portioso breaking away from the field. As Mino ahead of Binder now for fifth. Ramirez still ran out of top 10 behind on shoot. As Fanati into the top 20 ahead of Agura. And Anthony ahead of Binder now, so the South African slipping down the order. Della Portio into the podium place ahead of Mazia, so he's charging. But yeah, now playing this game, like particularly around earlies, it feels beautiful, the bike, like braking. Like not too bad at all. Getting on the power is still stupid. So we've got Saga ahead of Sasaki up to 23rd now. Having a good race, there's the check from the back. Like I'm not sure if I just was not that good on the brakes after the update or did it a particular way, but now it can definitely much smoother now, I guess, than before. Like much better on the brakes in general now, it feels like in bike games. But as the gap's 3.1. Getting on the power, different story at the moment. There's one thing that's got to massively improve the physics, it feels like now, is getting on the power. Because you get this stupid wobble. Which makes no sense. As Binder's now down to 8 behind Suzuki. I could maybe understand it for MotoGP bikes with all that torque and power. For a Moto3 bike as well. Something's got to change. I have seen the trailers for MotoGP 20. All looks promising, Milestone. You're setting us a dream once again, like you have for virtually every game. Like their marketing for new features and stuff, pretty good. Marketing in general, not sure. As 212.4, we really are just cruising. So on the 4th lap now. And now the bike's starting to feel like it should, as Binder's now dropped down to 9 behind Ramirez. Down to 10 behind Onshu. God, he slipped 5 places at the last lap, the South African. Going like a stone. I know, and it's like he's battled back against Onshu temporarily. Like I think in particular playing the TTR Man games has really helped the braking. You're getting the power in this game though, is just having the bike going side to side, and that's the quickest way as well. Like it may seem me being smooth, I'm riding at like 80%. Like I'm not actually pushing it too hard. I'm just nailing all my points at the moment, which is very unusual for me, I know, but oh, so it's a race, you don't want to be pushing 100% all the time. But yeah, if I'm on a hot lap, normally, I try and get on the power early, and the bike's just going from side to side. And so look at any choice with what they're doing with the tyres now. And with the fuel as well. Hopefully they had in the fuel as one of the practice programs, if they keep the practice programs. I hope they do, with manager mode coming back as well, being more in depth and everything. They really should. Because I enjoy the practice programs more than, say, like F1 games. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the F1 games now, but still, the practice one, especially the, is it ERS one? I think they have F1 games. Is it ERS? There's a fuel one. It might be the brake. It might be the tyre wear one I'm thinking of, which is just annoying. It's just how do you have to be quick, but you have to save the tyres. But the targets were very unrealistic at the beginning of F1 2019. I'm not sure if they fixed it, Codemasters. I don't have much confidence they have. So we go, get into the 11s. Also the race pace being much quicker than qualifying and stuff. That needs to be fixed as well. Good. Milestone, add this to the list, okay? I know you got under 2 weeks now, but I'm sure you've had a look at it. But again, this has been a problem with MotoGP games for a while, from what I remember. Like, remember timing being really bought when they had this game on their original engine as we were approaching the halfway mark of the race, by the way. I remember you always get times that end in .999 or end in kind of odd figures as well, and the time just seemed random. Since having it on the Unreal engine, seems like time is working properly. So 6 seconds over our teammate, we're putting over a second of that here. Got no opposition here in Brno. Looks like we're going for the hat trick then. So yeah, hopefully the get on the power thing is a bit better with what seems like they've had a look at the tyre model and try and improve it, because that seems to be it. Like, you got this, when you get on the power early, you're getting a tyre to slip. But they always talk about this when, like, post, like, Grand Prix and, like, how riders ride and how drivers drive as well. Like, the quickest, like, when you analyse techniques and stuff, how you're always having the tyres slipping and sliding. And whoever's quickest is the best at managing that. Managing the slipping and sliding. It's not exactly about maybe being the earliest on the power or putting the power in the most. It's about managing that slide that you always constantly have the tyres. Of course, Marcus is the best at it at the moment. I don't know how he does it. I've read articles on how he rides, how he gets round the Honda, particularly in the last couple of years when the Honda was aggressive, getting the power down, aggressive engine braking. And how he rides around it is astonishing, really. And it all goes back, they all say it goes back to his dirt tracking. His flat track riding, what he basically does for training, he can apply to a MotoGP bike. I mean, it's no surprise that you see almost every top rider do that now, to have dirt tracking as part of their training program. Like, of course, Rossi most famously has the ranch, the flat track. He has, events that he holds there as well, with his academy and his special invited guests as well. Like Carl O'Reilly, GP champ. I doubt he's giving him some tips to try and get quick. No, so I was watching the Dovi documentary that Red Bull did, the Undaunted one. God, they really do paint Ducati as the villains, but it's no surprise after seeing how Baptista got treated by Ducati as well in World Superbikes. Like, seems like the Domenicali bloke at the top, not Stefano, the ex-F1, but a different Domenicali. Seems like a tough boss to please. And even being a Dovi fan, it still makes me feel, I think if you just watch it, just makes you feel a bit for Dovi at Ducati. Like, they expect him to be Marquez, but he's not Marquez, he's Dovi. He's got a different riding style, he's totally different, like, character. Like, you can't expect someone to just be a copy of the best rider or the best driver. That's not how, for example, Schumacher got Ferrari got good with Schumacher, Todt, Brawn, Stepney, Roy Byrne, with the Dream Team, basically. They did not get good by copying McLaren or copying Benetton or copying Williams. They built their own foundation for success, and it meant they won 5 world titles in a row in the early thousands. You can't expect a rider to just adapt and change on a dime or be exactly like the top rider. You've got to try and pull the strengths out of them, or try and get riders to extract the strengths out of them, like Lorenzo did with Ducati. Like, he really adapted his style to get on top of that Ducati. And in the second season, or second part of the season, well, mid-season, shall we say, it worked for Lorenzo. He was the top rider over Dovi. If we forget, like, after he won in Mugello and Spain, like, in it, like, it was a two-pronged Ducati assault against Marquez, but then Assen happened, unfortunately, and that started the road to retirement for Lorenzo. He's temporary retirement. I don't know. It looks like he might come back for the odd race or two. I'm not sure. He's not closed. It looked like he closed the door with his retirement announcement, and now it looked like it would open back up. Now that he's back at Yamaha, kind of cheapens that retirement announcement for it at the end of last year. It seemed like, I don't know, don't want to speculate, but yeah, it looked like he was coming back for the Catalan GP with Yamaha. Never know. Once he get racing again, he could come back some more. Like, as sad it is that we're not having racing, and you know that the world is basically on hold at the moment for possibly most, if not all, of the rest of this year. What have we got to look forward to after all this hiddenness is a 2021 season, which looks, you know, insane. On babe, having the Marquezes together at Honda. You got Vinales, Rossi maybe in his last season, you never know. Well, at least with the top line Yamaha team. It could be back on a satellite Yamaha, you never know, with Lorenzo as his odd teammate. You would have thought those two would be riding together again, in the same team, maybe. And then you got like Quartararo. Even though Vinales is like 25, he's still just 25. He's been around for ages. He's been around almost a decade. It feels like he's been, you know, he's been around since the beginning of time. Vinales. But we've literally seen him grow up in front of us, from being sponsored by Paris Hilton, remember? If anyone remembers that from the Moto3 days, to now, you know, leading the charge for Yamaha. Like, he's under threat there from Quartararo. Like, he's already got pressure on him. Like, Quartararo, he might be stepping into the top official Yamaha seat, but I don't think the pressure's really on him. Because he might have a season to, like, adapt to the top team. And then in the second season, the contract year, then we'll see what he does. So yeah, there's some pressure on Vinales. Like, we all expected him to step up and be the main guy to challenge Marquez, but we've seen, you know, Dovi and Ducati be that for the last few years, and Yamaha be very up and down. On their day, they're magnificent together. Like that win at, was it Phillip Island last year? I forget the other win as well, early in the season. He was superb, Vinales, on those days. Unmatchable. We just need those days more often, because unfortunately, he just gets swamped at starts. He's not very good as well on the final lap, by the way, of this race. And it is just so disappointing sometimes seeing his race eradicated at the first corner. But now everyone has like a whole shot device. Well, they've all copied Ducati's lead of trying to get these mega whole shot devices so he can, you know, make up a few places. Well, that's the one thing Dovi maybe has on everyone still, is that, you know, he's fantastic on the first lap. After that, even as a fan, I can question what he does sometimes, but like sometimes I wish he'd just push more in the early part of races. And that's very much a frustration which came through on that documentary that they did on last season. Where even Ducati were like sometimes like, why aren't you pushing more early in races? But of course he's thinking of the long game. We're all thinking short term, where if Marcus is sitting in the front, you're letting Marcus dictate the race. You never want that to happen. On occasion you can fight back and beat him, such as Austria or Great Britain when Rins did it, but for the most part you want to be ahead of Marcus for the most of the race. And then, but somehow save enough for the end, because when he attacks, you've got to be right there with him. You've got to counter punch. But then it's something that riders didn't really learn with Rossi when he was in his pump until like 2006, and even then, that was a crazy season, 2006. It was not until you had that new breed of Stoner, the Renzo, etc., who brought the fight to Rossi. Do we have that new generation now to maybe bring the fight to Marquez, of a Quartararo, of even looking further down like a Binder or a Vieira, of a Rins, of a Mir? Who knows? It's showing promising signs though, Quartararo, as that was way too easy. But then Quartararo's in his first season, he's still, got a lot to learn. And while Marcus approaches 8th season, and he's just 26, I think, his age. We've still got at least another 5 years of this. Oh, it's going to be exciting when we get back racing. Hopefully, if I said, I'm not thinking this year, but hopefully in 2021 it will be, we can get back to normal. As not normal is winning by 12 seconds out of Canet. The Delaporte in third round at the podium ahead of Mazia by 4/10. And then we've got Mina around out the top 5 ahead of Antonelli, Suzuki, Ramirez, Onshu and Binder. He grabs the top 10 by under a second ahead of Rodrigo and McPhee, Albano, Vietti and Tuba grabbing the final point. We're 2.5 seconds ahead of Fogel, with Kornfeld missing out on home turf. Fernandez rounds out the top 20. Salop stayed in 23rd in the end, and Perez in last. So in the championship, we are into the top 5 points ahead of Mino, but 55 behind Antonelli, who leads the championship by 10 points ahead of Mazia. Then we've got Canet, 28 points back. And we are only 20. We're actually closer to our teammate now than he is to the leader for once this season. Delaporte in 4th. Then we've got Suzuki, Onshu, Ramirez, and Rodrigo rounds out the top 10. Massive gap though between 9th and 10th. And looking further down, no changes in the field. And it's like Fanati up to 20. Suzuki up to 22nd, but still with no points. Well, in the team's championship, Besta Capital Dubai by 12 points ahead of Sync 58. Max Racing in third, just a single point back, but 13 behind the leaders. We're coming. And then we've got Leopard in 4th ahead of KTM. Then Grassini, Sky Racing Team VR46, Under Team Asia, Snikers and Petronia Spirita rounds out the top 10. There's still just 12 teams that scored points. As we have maxed out everything, okay, we did all of the simulations, so we've got 50 development points. I think we need 40 more, so it won't be next round in Austria, it'll be the round after, where we get enough development points to develop for, so it's Austria, Great Britain, it'll be for Mazzano. Then as Rins sweeps away any early doubts and owns the Brno race. I'll show you to Marcus, who's concentrating on the championship stand, satisfied with his 2nd place. By Moto2, Shirota wins, who's already concentrating on the challenges ahead. As corner rumours, Kevin's interested in moving to Sky Racing Team VR46. Who started that rumours? Was that the Italian media? What the hell? Hopeful, wanting a rider on that VR46 bike, which can challenge for the title. As with our 10th victory now, 3 in a row. We're in the top 5. So next time, we're heading to Austria. And as you can see, Great Britain and Mazzano have a fully developed bike. And then after that, we're into the running. So we've got Aragon ending the European season, basically. And then we head into Thailand, Japan, Australia, Malaysia. And then back home to Valencia for the final round of the season. Well, I hope you enjoyed some Brno action and the return of MotoGP Pro Career. We're trying to end it at the end of not this week, but next week, So for the next week, you have this in the mornings. TTL Man 2 as well appearing. And then the Colin McRae flat out pack for the Rally 2.0 as well during the week. So those will be the 3 main series now. But sign up for watching. And before I go, hang on, I'll just turn up the difficulty before I forget. I was at 95, no wonder. Shall we we'll turn up to 100. There it goes, up 5%. So hopefully it'll be a bit tougher. But sign up for watching, and I will see you next time.